Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's story is a true Dogman report sent again by my dear friend Darrel over at Midwest Dogman Sightings and Research. As ever, guys, I'm sure you know by now the clout, as Swamp Dweller would put it, the clout that Darrel brings to the table every time with the reports, the efficiency, diligence that he incorporates to all the reports. It's fantastic. And of course the support that he gives to these witnesses, as of course himself is a Dogman witness after many years of researching. As ever, guys, we'd love to know your opinion on this one. Darrel has specifically asked me to ask you subscribers for your opinions on this particular report. For a first time in a very long time, it's left Darrel quite puzzled. Particularly in the response that the witness has given the description, in terms of them actually believing it to be sort of a werewolf entity. Yeah, please, as ever, please do like and share. If you haven't subscribed to DMT, now is a very good time to subscribe and join the family. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all DMT content. We have some amazing things coming up soon, and a lot of features coming. Without further ado, let's get into tonight's true Dogman encounter, sent over by Midwest Dogman Sightings and Research. I'd like to entitle 8 foot 600 pound Dogman. Let's get straight into that. Hey DMT, it's Darrel. This encounter took place at approximately 6:50 p.m. Michigan time. That's Eastern time. On 2/18/18. I received a call from Michigan area code. When I answered the call, a woman was talking frantically, saying her neighbor says she just saw something very big and hairy at the end of her driveway. I asked her how she had got my number. Her response was my neighbor gave it to me. Then she asked me to call you. I asked her how her neighbor got it. She said she didn't know, but just to call me. She was telling me that her neighbor was taking her new puppy out to do his business, and that she turned around to face the road, and standing at the end of the driveway, about 15 yards, was a monster. I asked her, did she see it also? She said no, not really. Just a shadow hauling ass under the streetlight. Now, DMT, I usually have people email me their encounters, and if I decide there is some validity to their story, I will make an appointment to go see them, but first I will have them tell me their encounter over the phone. I don't want to make a trip for a wild goose chase, but this was right out of the blue, and I've only taken 2 phone calls that were just out of the blue, and on one of them it turned out bad for me, if you know what I mean. I told her to try and calm her neighbour down the best way she could, and I'm on my way. It will be about an hour or so before I get there, and to not go outdoors whatsoever, and if anything was to happen, to call the police. She said okay, I will try. DMT, I have never heard a person so hysterical as this woman. She was practically screaming at her neighbour while she was talking to me, sobbing so much you could hear her hyperventilating. I got in my vehicle and headed up 35 miles northwest of Grand Junction, Michigan. All the while driving, it was like Deja Vu. All the events of last year came flooding back. I was thinking the entire drive, why the hell am I doing this? It's night time, and I'm heading into an unknown area, to the home of someone I do not know, just because of a sighting that may turn out to be a hoax. WTF am I doing? Oh, what the hell. My brother was visiting and wanted to tag along. He was talking Sasquatch all the way up there. I told him, look, we will see. We don't know anything right now. When we arrived, we were met by a neighbour who called. In the driveway, smoking a cigarette, and had a very large German Shepherd on a lead beside her. She then invited us in, and the witness had calmed down somewhat. She began to thank us for coming and said her husband was good friends with Samuel. I then realised how she had got my number. Now, it was deja vu. Was I going to be stalked by something tonight? I was thinking in the back of my mind. I looked at my brother, who just shook his head and said, "You need to find a different hobby." The witness then started talking real fast. I couldn't get what happened out of her. She was fixated on her puppy, holding him and starting to sob, stating it wanted my dog. It was looking at him, sniffing the air. My brother said, "What was looking at him?" She said, "I don't know. It was huge. It was a monster. It was standing at the end of the driveway looking at him and me." I asked her to try and calm down and tell us what it was you saw. I'm thinking all this time, if she can't calm herself down, she may have to seek medical treatment. She was shaking so violently. I then turned to the neighbour who called, and I asked what it was that she saw. It was a shadow. It was running away towards the woods very fast, and it was huge. I asked, on 2 or 4 legs. She said it looked like the size of a cow, so I assume on all 4s. Then the word monster blurted out again. It was not a cow, it was a frickin' monster. My brother went out to my truck and got a flashlight. He began to look for prints, but there were none. It had to have crossed on the gravel road further down and then to the asphalt area, then stood under the floodlight at the end of the drive. There were no prints whatsoever. She then told me to go get my partner. She had no idea he was my brother, and that he was not safe out there. I went out to the end of the driveway, and we both looked for any sign of what might have been. My brother said it had to have been a squatch. I told him, get off the squatch theory. He had no clue. After 10 minutes or so, we went back in. My brother was telling me just before I got to the end of the driveway, he shined the lights into the woods and thought he saw eyeshine. Yellow eyeshine. The witness said it had yellow eyeshine. The neighbour said while we were outside, she had called the witness' husband and he would be right home. And 20 minutes later, he pulls up into the driveway and comes to the home we're all gathered at. I asked him how he knew Samuel. He said he knew him and his family from the farmer's market. He then said he had got my number from him and that he knew about the things that were happening on Samuel's farm. And then told me he had seen something lurking around the woods, and it's big, he said, covered in dark brown hair with a large wolf-like snout. I asked him to describe its features. He said it walked like a man on 2 legs. My brother said, "I told you, it's a Sasquatch." It had a face like a wolf. He then stated to my brother, it was no Bigfoot. It looked like something from a Hollywood horror flick. I asked him how so. He said it had to have been all of 8 foot tall and 600 pounds. Its eyes glowed yellow. I asked him if it was the lights reflecting the shine and they appeared yellow. He said no, he saw it in the daytime and he was pulling out to go work. The sun was shining bright and the eyes were still yellow. Listen, DMT, I have been doing this for years. All the reports I have taken describes canine features. I have no reason to doubt this witness's encounter. The neighbour said she saw something move quickly in the shadows, something very large. The husband described seeing something resemble a werewolf. This is a whole new type of creature to me. I may have to go get some insight from Mr. Doss on this one, laugh out loud, because I'm clueless. I will keep you posted, for I am in contact with the family. I hope there are no other occurrences. Regards, Darrel. Wow, thank you ever so much, brother. Another shocking and obviously very traumatic encounter for that poor lady. I wish them the best of luck to the family. Of course, do keep us updated, as you always do. Always appreciate your extra effort, Darrel. We know this is not easy to get back into things after going through such a horrendous time yourself only last year. Guys and girls, please do let us know down below in the comments what you think your opinion is on this creature. There was no footprints, paw prints, whatever you want to call it. And a very, very large, heavy creature at that. And eye shine in the daytime, guys. Glowing eyes in the daytime. If anybody has heard of something like that, a report like that, or a story, or possibly you've had an encounter like that, then of course please do get in touch with myself, or you can email me at dmtforestoffear@gmail.com. Remember guys, be aware of your surroundings when you're out and about, and above all, remember, be safe, not sorry.